In 2009, my family and I were down to our last $700 because of the housing market collapse. But in that frightening time, God showed me a hidden path to His supernatural peace and security that Jesus said few find. Hi, I'm Mark Shattuck, and right now we all need the supernatural peace and security Jesus offers because just months ago, America was experiencing its best economy ever, the highest stock market ever, the highest employment ever, and the highest consumer confidence ever. And in less than 4 weeks, the American economy collapsed because of the coronavirus pandemic. Then protests and riots spread like wildfire all over our country. Things are crazy here in America. Yet, Jesus offers supernatural peace and security even in times like these. But He said few find it. Jesus said few find the path that leads to abundant life, that He said He came to give us, which includes abundant peace and abundant security. How do I know this? Well, I've already been through this kind of adversity before. This economic uncertainty we're experiencing right now isn't new to me. Like I said, in June of 2009, my family and I were down to our last $700. That's all we had, just $700. This happened because of the housing market collapse of 2008. And even though it was the most frightening time of my life, I discovered something amazing in it. I discovered that in God's reality, adversity is one of the best ways to discover abundant life, to discover abundant peace and security. I'm serious about this. So let me show you how this can be possible in your life right now too. In 2002, I opened my very own residential design firm. My career has been designing custom homes. So when I started my own firm, I was ready to succeed, and I did phenomenally. But what I didn't know was that my firm was built on a ticking time bomb. The housing and credit market collapse of 2008 obliterated my industry and my business. But God was up to something that at that time I didn't have eyes to see yet. You see, while I was freaking out, God was just waiting to do His thing, and He did. First, God saved us financially. When the housing market collapse was at its worst, God brought more business than I had ever closed before, and none of it was seed I had sown. He saved my family and I with miracle architecture deals. It was amazing. But the best part of it all was that God was teaching me how to find a hidden path. There was a hidden path in my adversity. And it turns out there's a hidden path in every adversity. While my family and I were in the darkest hour of our financial nightmare, God led me to Matthew 6:25, where I found one of the most insane commands from Jesus that I had never seen before, and it irritated me. Here's what Jesus said. He said, "I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink. Is not life more important than food?" And in the face of my certain financial ruin and the housing market collapse, Jesus was telling me not to worry about my life? Like I said, this irritated the fool out of me because it seemed so insensitive in light of my desperate situation. I was worried about my life. I was in the actual circumstances which would soon have me literally worrying about how to feed my family. I was thinking, hello, Jesus, what good is life if I don't have any food? Yeah, I'm just blunt with God like that, and He's okay with it. So how in the world could Jesus say this? How could He say something so disconnected from my reality? This disconnected from our reality today? Well, it would actually take me 8 years to finally understand it. Yeah, maybe I'm a slow learner, but it took this long because it was nothing I could ever have conceived. It had to be divinely revealed to me. This is true for all of us. But I'm about to save you those 8 years and tell you all about it right now. And yes, the answer is about abundant life, which Jesus said few find. Here's what I learned. Here's what's completely transformed my life. In this passage, the word life is the Greek word psuche, which means soul. This is the core of who we are, the core of our desires, where we need fulfillment and peace and to feel safe and loved. And Jesus is saying, don't worry about your soul life. Don't worry when your circumstances threaten your peace, your security, or your well-being. Well, due to the unthinkable circumstances happening all around us right now, plus the very real threat of a deadly virus, yeah, we're all worried about our soul life, all right. We might not be worried about putting food on the table yet, but we are worried about our inner peace and the safety of our well-being. We are worried about our basic needs being stripped from us, being lost. But here's where Jesus' words get really good. The Holy Spirit then led me to John 6:33, where Jesus says this, "For the bread of God is that which comes down out of heaven and gives life to the world." Okay, so hang on a second. Now Jesus is talking about food and life again, but this is different. This is cosmically different. Jesus goes on to explain saying, "I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will not hunger, and he who believes in me will never thirst." Here's what's vital about this passage. Here's what matters for us today. The word life is different in this passage than the previous one. Instead of the word psuche, here Jesus uses the Greek word Zoe, which means absolute fullness of life, life that is active, vigorous, and blessed. Man, this is what we want, right? And then I found that Paul had discovered the secret of true contentment, of true fulfillment and satisfaction. In Philippians 4:12, he said this, "I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether living in plenty or in want." Okay, so here's how all this comes together. Paul discovered the secret of Zoe life in Jesus. You see, only Zoe life can make us content, whether we are in plenty, like we were just a few months ago, or when we are in want, like right now in our current challenges. But what is this contentment Paul's talking about? What is this secret he says he found? It's to have total and complete peace and security to the full, regardless of our circumstances, regardless of what's happening in the world around us. Paul is saying we can have total peace and contentment and security even when our circumstances are in want. This is what Jesus said he came to give us. That's why he said, don't worry about your life, your Psuche life, your soul life, because we don't have to. But this is only possible if we are being filled with the Zoe life of Jesus, because his Zoe life is peace. His Zoe life is security, regardless of our circumstances, regardless of what's happening to our economy, to our country, or to the world. But Jesus also said in Matthew 7:14 that few find the path to his Zoe life. Few find the path that leads to abundant life, abundant peace, and abundant security. So I've created a one-of-a-kind video course to help you do just that. There's nothing like this anywhere else. It's the culmination of my quest to find this life-giving reality of Jesus for myself over the past 20 years of my life. It's the fruit of intense Bible study, spiritual revelations, and many other people's teachings and knowledge. It's also the result of several very intense adversities that I've been through where my outcomes and expectations were stripped away. And I found the amazing and fulfilling presence of Jesus at the end of it all. I found his Zoe life at the end of myself. And also, if you sign up below, you'll get instant access to a free video where I reveal how Jesus promises to overcome our trouble. It's a famous verse that is partially quoted where Jesus says, "In this world you will have trouble and tribulation." The crazy thing about this one statement is that it's only a small part of an incredibly great promise. This promise is something I learned years ago that has changed my life. I've used it over and over when I encounter trouble, like when a pandemic threatens my peace and security. In this video, I'm going to show you the overcoming power Jesus promises. And it's real, it's practical, it works. That's why Jesus gave us this promise in the first place. It's not just to be ambiguously encouraging. I mean, what good is that really? This overcoming promise from Jesus really works. And I know this from having many of my own experiences with the trouble life has brought me. But I want to leave you with this. When my family and I were down to our last $700, yeah, I was in complete panic mode. I was going to lose my business. We were going to lose our home. We were going to lose everything. But that's when God started showing me a different way to live. He showed me a hidden path to true life, to abundant life, a path to peace and security like I had never experienced before. I want you to find this path. Jesus wants you to find this path. In fact, He gave His life so that you could have abundant life, so that you could have His Zoe-Life. So sign up below and join me on this journey to discover how to find the path to abundant peace and security that Jesus said few find. That's my mission here at hiddenpath.life. And so I want to pray for you right now, if I may. I pray that you would be filled with the supernatural presence of Jesus in these difficult times. I pray that you'll discover His amazing and satisfying Zoe life. Thanks for watching. God bless.